Welcome to your more. You may be on your path to having it all, the house, family, money, and travel, when suddenly something shatters your ideal world. It shifts your perspective. You realize, or decide maybe, having it all isn't all that. It may leave you feeling unhappy, unsatisfied, or unfulfilled. You're left wanting something more, but you can't quite put it into words. Others just don't get it. They try to pacify you. I get it. I've stood in your shoes. Hello, I'm Gina, the spark behind Exquisitely Aligned. Your more starts now. Today we'll be discussing how the pursuit of attention, approval, and acknowledgement is blocking our path to the joy and satisfaction of the life we're truly meant to live. It's only natural to crave attention, right? It makes us feel alive, desired, and lovable. There are examples all around us. Watch a toddler. Whether putting on a dance show or a temper tantrum, they will attract attention, but only one in the manner they crave. A student, whether the astute child or the class clown, both will attract attention, but only one with approval. The employee. Whether the high achiever or the slacker, both will attract attention, but only one will receive acknowledgement. Speaking of high achievers, let's go a little bit deeper. This is one of my favorite topics. I feel like it's so relatable. I hope you do too. High achievers are goal-oriented, hard workers, driven, and by all measures, they typically are successful, and then some. Their quest usually begins at a young age and continues over, I would say, a lifetime. A child seeking the attention of their parents, a teen craving the approval of their peers. Then they go on to college and look for the approval from their peers there. They get a PhD or an MD or become an attorney or all of the above. They continue on their quest for attention, approval, and acknowledgement. And they may even seek the attention of their lover, maybe the approval of the gals at the country club. This leads us down a long path, possibly decades long, seeking even more attention, more approval, and acknowledgement, seeking to be really happy, to be satisfied, to be fulfilled, only to find ourselves disappointed. And even if we do receive the attention, approval, or acknowledgement, we may still feel unhappy, unsatisfied, or unfulfilled. So instead, I invite you to make a big shift in your perspective. In order to feel fulfilled and satisfied, it must come from the inside. Our attention must be on our truths and our desires. We must approve of ourselves, our life experiences, both the comfortable and the hellish ones. Be grateful. They shaped us to be who we are today, that amazing man or woman standing here and now. We must acknowledge our unique talents and our gifts. Hint, most women, they don't even know what their gifts are because they are so natural. They come so quickly to us. They're like our DNA. When you do all three, that's when you feel truly happy. That's when you find yourself feeling satisfied. When you feel this inner fulfillment, you are confident. You are courageous. You become all-knowing. You become who you were born to be. Let me explain another way how we may often crowdsource our confidence in our decision-making process, especially when it comes to making extraordinary decisions. Listen, I believe with every ounce of my being that you are exquisite. I know you are meant for that more, something deeper, something more meaningful, and even more fulfilling. And you are probably being called to make extraordinary decisions right now. But before decisions become extraordinary decisions, oftentimes they have us wondering what to do. Things feel very complicated and usually cause us some kind of level of frustration. Have you ever felt this? Every time you're feeling this, please know that's an extraordinary decision in disguise, an extraordinary decision waiting for you to make, an extraordinary decision waiting for you to claim that life that you know is waiting for you. You're more. So what makes us believe we don't already know what's best for us, right? Well, here's what I've noticed over the decades of being alive and watching people. We live in a world that tries to keep us playing small. We live in a world trying to make us think we aren't wise enough. We live in a world that has us believing that if we make the wrong decision, it is all over. If you disagree with any or all of, if not disagree, but if you agree with any or all of these, then this is easy to understand how it can make us feel. Certainly, we then become uncomfortable in our decision-making process. Sure, it can cause us to second-guess ourselves, lose our confidence. We may feel unqualified to make extraordinary decisions. We know there's a lot hinging on that one decision. We know there are both positive and negatives to what we decide, and we know our decisions impact others. Our lover, our kids, our aging parents, those people we might be seeking approval from. And because of that, we may put their needs ahead of our own. We may decide to delay our decision, making up excuses why later is better. We may believe we're doing this for the sake of the loved ones. We may tell ourselves we can wait another 6 months. We may say we're too busy, too tired, too overwhelmed. I've heard it all. The truth, not making decisions leaves us and our loved ones feeling even more stressed. Not making decisions turns months into years. Not making decisions causes busyness, tiredness, and overwhelm. You get my point? So the second scenario surrounding extraordinary decisions, well, we maybe want and are ready to make that extraordinary decision, but something else is holding us back. We do not trust our decision-making abilities. We want help. We seek advice or input from our loved ones, our family, our friends, the next door neighbors, pet sitter. I'm teasing. We've been taught that we don't have the answers. We've been taught to seek advice from others. We've been taught to defer to what they've already done, right? If it's not broke, then just keep repeating it. That kind of follow the leader mentality, or as I like to refer to it, one size fits all paradigm. But who's the leader? Really, I'm asking you, who knows better than we know ourselves? Who could possibly make our extraordinary decisions? So I hope you can see and obviously feel why seeking approval, attention, and acknowledgement from the outside strips away our confidence. How putting others' needs ahead of ourselves will keep us reliving yesterday over and over again. Talk about boring. When we seek others' opinions, it steers us further from our truths. They may mean well, but even our closest, most adoring fans cannot know what's written on our soul, what causes our heart to beat, what makes us come alive from the inside out, or what possibilities are awaiting us. Bottom line, okay, no, it's more of a trilogy. So however you want to put it, there are three things. Number one, seeking approval, attention, and acknowledgement from the outside will never fulfill us or make us happy. Number two, putting others ahead of ourselves in the decision-making process will only bite us and them in the butt. Number three, outside opinions will always water down your decisions. And the worst part is, Every time we seek approval, attention, and acknowledgement from the outside, every time we put others ahead of ourselves and or seek advice from outside sources, we are giving up parts of ourselves. Think about it. Our energy, our mind will be playing that what if game over and over. Our truths, we detach from our truths, the truths written on our soul, the ones only we know. Our desires, the desires that are written on our heart, the ones that cause our heart to beat. Our truth, our gifts, and our talents. The gifts only we possess to help us live the life that's calling us. And possibly the most tragic, okay, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but in my opinion, it is tragic when we no longer ask and listen to our highly intuitive mind. Essentially, our inner guiding force, our essence, our all-knowing, we feel abandoned. And then in turn, it may feel abandoned and wither away. And the greatest of all, well, that's you walking away from the amazing life that's waiting for you, the one that's been calling you all your life, the one that infiltrates your dreams and calls your attention to exactly what you need to see when you least expect it. I had an experience like that the other night. The unlived life that called you to this very moment, you and me, here and now. And let me explain. I've worked with many women, but I also have my own personal experiences. Remember, easy and some hellish. Take moving here to California. I was ready to move 4 years earlier. Yes, 4 years, not months, years. But my husband convinced me we must let our oldest, our son, go to a specific high school in Charlotte. So I agreed. We stayed 4 years for his high school. Of course, it would be 2020 by then. Little did we know there would be a pandemic. What a monkey wrench that threw into the mix. Our daughter at the time was finishing her 8th grade school year, so we thought it would be an easy transition for her to move from that school that was ending to a new high school here in California. Of course, as many 14-year-olds, she was not happy with us, and I mean really not happy. Then my parents, the awesome grandparents that they are, they weren't happy with us either. But I knew in my heart of hearts I could no longer wait. Not a day, not a week, not a month. It was time for me to live elsewhere. So here I am today, filming from sunny southern Orange County, California, and loving every single minute of it. Of course, our daughter is now 16. She found her way and is enjoying her high school experience. I don't know if my parents are happy per se, but I do know they came for a lovely visit, and I believe they could see why this is where we are meant to live. So in the end, it all worked out. I did give up 4 years, but here I am now. Okay, one last very important thing. It would be remiss of me not to mention. When we choose ourself, something may happen, and I don't want you to be caught off guard because I was, and it was very uncomfortable. It actually made me extremely sad. It took away some of my fire, the fire that I say burns in my heart. It was a time when I was on fire. I was thrilled and excited about what decision I had made, an extraordinary decision. It was backlash. And I want to make sure you're not caught off guard the way I was. I want to prepare you for it. Listen. When you choose and commit to live the life you were born to live, the one that's waiting for you, others will not easily give attention to your truths. Others will not easily approve of your desires and your dreams. I'm telling you the truth. Others will not easily acknowledge your gifts as the genius they are. Okay, as the genius. We'll talk more about that in another podcast called Stand Tall, You've Earned It. Today's takeaways: approval, acknowledgement, and attention feel good in the moment, but the satisfaction is shallow and temporary. When you live the life you were born to live, you'll say no to shallow, yes to fulfilled. You'll